Again, I don't think we have enough oh,
Oh
you're
no,
recording again.
yeah, no, I know we totally do. Because we keep bringing in other stuff, so that's really good.
But are
Um,
people interested to hear about all of that?
we're gonna find out. All right, so welcome
Actually,
again.
I hope people do provide feedback.
I hope so, and I really want
So,
them. I really want them to do that because this way we'll know whether we're doing a good job or not. So, all right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Travel this week with Cushrow and Kerwin. And we last week we were just, or the last time you heard us, we were just going to talk to you about Tegel closing. Now, Berlin has um, three airports. It's
they
actually
had four, right? No, yeah, they had three. Yes,
they had
because
three,
I don't
right?
think
So it was
Tempelhof.
it was Schonefeld, Tempelhof, and Tegel is what they had. Tempelhof closed a few years ago, and actually, if you go to Berlin, you can actually go visit Tempelhof. It's a park, and if you want to walk, you can walk down the entire runway.
With runways.
Yes, they have two runways there, so you can walk down the runway in the summertime. It's beautiful. So once all this is over, head over to Berlin and check out the Tempelhof. There's even a museum there because the old terminal still sits there. It's magnificent, and you can tour underneath it and above it, and it is actually an amazing thing to. Have you done that tour yet, Krisha?
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's a good
it's
place to walk because you have two runways that are not short. So you can
exactly
get a good dose of exercise just doing the runways and the taxiways.
exactly.
And
No,
it's a
no,
beautiful park
it
for
really
lots
does.
of picnickers and bikers and all sorts of family
Yeah,
fun.
it's crazy. Now this was on the American side, right? Tempelhof was.
Tempelhof was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
So
in West Berlin.
it's in
Yeah.
West Berlin. So there's Tegel, which is airport code is TXL, and there's Schonefeld, which is SX as in Sam, F as in Frank. Now Schonefeld is supposed to be right across the runway. They're building the brand new Berlin Brandenburg, which is going to be BER, which is actually supposed to take the place of Schonefeld and Tegel. However, it's a sore topic for the folks in Berlin and Germany. If you ask anyone about the Berlin airport, they just don't want to talk about it. So
Or
it's
they
kind of,
rolled their eyes.
or they do roll their eyes because it's supposed to be this beautiful airport, and for whatever reason, they're having issues with it, which is not like Germans, because Germans is really good at engineering and architecture. But for whatever
Isn't
reason,
it
then
like 9 years over?
is
Or
that how
some
long it's been?
ridiculous number of years over budget or over
uh,
planned operation?
Isn't that crazy? It has been quite a while. So it's kind of interesting now because now they're saying they want to close Tegel temporarily. Now, Tegel is on the other side of town. Um, and one of the things when you go into Berlin, you normally go into Tegel with the TXL, which is in zone A, I think, of the fare zones. But Schonefeld is actually in zone C. So it's actually cost you more to get from Schonefeld back to the city of Berlin, which is one of the annoying things it's going to be once Brandenburg opens. But so why are they closing Tegel? What's the deal?
I think to prep the market, I believe, because Schonefeld is right across the tarmac from Berlin, the
Mm-hmm.
new Berlin, BER. So the slowdown in air traffic, um, I guess they took this as a means of economy.
Hmm.
They were planning to close it June to October, and October is when Berlin opens,
Right.
if they indeed open. So, I mean, June doesn't leave you a lot of time to move all those airlines from Berlin,
No,
Tegel,
no.
because Tegel, I think, is the main international airport. I
Yes,
believe Schonfeld is where most of the low cost carriers operate.
correct. You're very correct.
But
None of the carriers from the U.S. goes to Schonefeld. I don't even
no,
know if they
no.
have. They probably just have Schengen and non-Schengen security there. I don't think they have stuff at Tegel.
So
But Tegel is the main international, like all the Middle Eastern carriers come there, and everybody else comes there, Asia,
and it's
etc.
sort of embarrassing, I think, for Germany
Hmm.
to have Tegel as their premier international gateway for the capital of the country, because it's like what, a fancy barn with
Yeah.
metal roof,
So
but it's
it's
charming in its own way.
it is, but it's Otto. It's named after Otto. Is Otto Lilienfeld, I think, is the name of
Okay, no, I don't know.
the person, and I'll give you guys a note as to who that is. But I like Tegel. Although now they've added like extra parts of it because it literally cannot hold the flights that are there anymore. Even with the departure of Air Berlin, it still can't. There
I
is
don't think they have gates, right? I think you have to descend with stairs. Is that
no, no,
correct?
no, no. They do have gates. They do have gates,
Okay,
but
okay.
at the over by Terminal C, I think it is, which is there's A, B, and C now. Over by C, which is on the other side, it, it's it's really it's like a big barn in a sense, that side of it, like you were saying. But though over there they don't have any gates, you have to walk out to the plane or take a bus out to
Mm,
the plane or
mm.
something. But on the other side, the main part of the old terminal, it does have gates. So like when if you
Okay.
fly, when you fly Delta United, they normally get a gate. The cool thing about Tegel though is you walk off the plane and you go like up the jetway, and at the end of the jetway is maybe a little way in is the immigration. And
Yep.
so what normally happens that you're backed up into the plane trying to get off because um, they normally have two lanes, but it's not apparent that they have two lanes, one for Schengen people and people from Europe, and the other one is for foreigners. So the Schengen people, they know that there's another line. And so they're stuck in this line behind non-Europeans, and they're really pissed off. And so they're normally saying, excuse me, nobody's listening because people think they're trying to break the line, but they're not. They're just trying to get into their line, which you can't see because of how the jetway is set up. Um, but once you get behind that, you pick up your bags right there and you go through a door and you exit. So everything
Yep.
is on the same level.
Level.
Um,
Yeah.
it is circular. You just drive in one side and go around the next side. So I like it because it's easy. I'm in and I'm out in no time.
And
And
don't they have each area has its own security, like at almost
yes,
at every gate, I
yes.
think,
Yep, each gate and area has own
if I remember
security
right.
and own immigration. So basically, you walk in, you check in, and then you go to the right, and there's like a little corridor. And the immigration guy is sitting right behind the check-in lady, but you just can't see him because he's behind a wall. And then you go there, you give him your
So,
passport, and you go to security, and then you're at the gate, and it's all in the same level. If you want to buy stuff, they have like machines once you get inside there, and maybe there might be one or two coffee shops. All the restaurants and stuff are outside. They do have nice lounges because British Airways does have a lounge there, and so does Lufthansa, and I think the airport itself runs a lounge as well. So
so it'll be interesting to see if they do actually close it.
yeah, because
So,
Schonefeld is not big enough to handle.
yeah,
Well,
I would imagine.
I guess nobody's flying
Mm.
in, so.
That used to be the old Interflug headquarter, right? Or it
Oh,
because that was in East Germany, the old Interflug
yeah.
Airlines of East Germany.
Oh wow. I
So,
never. Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know about that one.
yeah.
But I have some pictures. I'm gonna show you show some pictures of going into Schonefeld. Um, but I've logged both those airports, but I've never flown into Tempelhof. I didn't get a chance to do it before it closed.
I think way before our time.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
it close in the 40s, something like that? Or no?
Um, I'm not
Was it more
sure.
recent?
It might be a little more recent than that, but I remember walking through it. I mean, the building, it was made, um, like a tank, for want of a better word. I guess it was made in war times. But it's amazing. It's like really tall, like unbelievably tall ceilings and things like that. So it's totally worth checking out if you go. Well, I guess we just have to wait and see what's going to happen with Tegel. Yeah, that would be interesting. The other note we had, British Airways is laying off a bunch of people.
Yep. I think they said 25% of their staff. I believe they have 42,000 people, and they were going to
Yeah.
lay off 12,000. And I found it very interesting that Britain is one of the only countries among the major airline countries like the UK, the US,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say Western Europe. I'm not sure about Japan and the other countries in Asia. They have not announced any support, any public support of the airlines.
Oh, in the
So
UK.
I don't know if this was
Hmm.
a plan by BA to put pressure on the government to help out,
Yeah.
because now they're even talking about closing Gatwick, their Gatwick operations.
Whoa.
So, and those are all the leisure destinations from in the Caribbean, I would imagine,
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
all
of them, and the US.
it's all. And you know the British Empire has to continue to the Caribbean, right?
Yep. And
That's
I'm not
never
sure
gonna
if
stop.
Heathrow has enough slots to accommodate all these new flights to like that. I think Bridgetown, Antigua, and all those
Saint
cities are
Lucia,
served from Gatwick.
Trinidad and Tobago.
So I think
Um,
Orlando also, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
and I think
So
is Kingston Gatwick?
Kingston is Gatwick, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I just say Kingston is Gatwick. As a kid, I used to live in the flight path of um Norman Mann International Airport in Kingston. And my joy was seeing the British Airways 747 fly in. I don't think it was daily, or maybe like 3 times a week or something. But it was always amazing to see it, and I'd always go out and make sure I see it when it's landing.
so
Today it's a 777 today. They use a 777
okay.
to the Caribbean. They don't.
But I think some of them are 744s. I
Yeah,
really think they are. Some of them are, yeah.
because I know that
So
I know Trinidad and Tobago and is this 777 that you used to actually do San Juan. It used to be a tag from San Juan down, but I think they've stopped that.
yeah, I'm not sure if they still operate
Yeah,
San Juan actually.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, probably they may do San Juan, but they don't do San Juan Tobago anymore.
Okay.
And then they use the thing about San Juan Tobago is that Tobago is Crown Point is the name of the airport, and a 777 in Crown Point is huge. The Caribbean is typically like that. And even recently, I was in Antigua, and they use a 777 to Antigua, and they use it to Barbados.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And a little
But
BA Concorde trivia. They used to fly Concorde to Barbados, and as such, Barbados is one of the places where there is a Concorde. But it is being restored, and when I went there last year, I didn't get a chance to see it because it was under restoration. So the only thing I could do is take a picture of the big Concorde building, but that was it.
but I don't know. I don't think IAG has announced anything for the other three carriers. Is it three or
um,
four? There's Aer
there's,
Lingus, Iberia, Vueling, and I don't
I
know if they're
guess,
going to take over Air Europe. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
So
yeah. I haven't heard anything yet
and
either.
Level, yeah. So they have more carriers.
Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, so when all this comes back, and if Level comes back, I wanted to fly Level. I was trying to fly them from Boston to Barcelona, or Barcelona to Boston, but I couldn't. The timings were off, and then when I went back to book the fare, it had gone up. So instead, I flew French B from Paris into San Francisco, which
So
hopefully they will. Well, they had some issues because they couldn't do the U.S. transit thing. So now I think they were flying via Canada, and then when that stopped, they had flown. They were just flying via, I think it was Guadeloupe or one of the French Caribbean islands, because it's still a domestic flight.
Is this the French Airlines?
Yeah, French B had
Yeah,
done that,
because that's
and Air Tahiti Nui had done that.
yeah. I think they're still doing Guadeloupe
Yeah,
to
the
Tahiti
book.
and Guadeloupe, Paris,
Yeah, which I guess.
because LA wouldn't had stopped
Yeah, they had stopped that.
because of what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
So,
they were doing Vancouver also.
yeah, they did
I
Vancouver.
think.
They did Vancouver for a while. You're correct. They did. And then they had that one flight that did the world's longest flight, Air
Yep.
Tahiti in the
Yep.
79.
But a lot of airlines are doing that with the 787. I believe there was a Cairo Sydney flight also
That did that.
on Egypt
Yeah,
Air.
yeah. So
There's
it's not
lots of them.
it's not all doom and gloom in the industry. Some really cool stuff are happening.
But I
Just
think a lot of them are empty though.
yeah, so
I think
it's
they
easy to
just
do
got
it, right?
cargo.
Yeah.
So
Well, speaking of cargo, that's the other thing. And people are wondering why are there still flights going on? And it's because there is cargo, and there's a lot of cargo going on these scheduled flights. Plus the fact that they don't have to maintain their slots anymore. So I guess that's a good thing that they changed. But
yeah, I think Heathrow was the big thing.
it was the big
They
thing.
were not being
Yeah,
very flexible. But I believe they are now.
they are because now there's only
So,
New York, London is 3 flights a day, and then a weekend I think we have
yeah.
5 flights or something like that. Which when
So,
you think of New York, London, which you normally fly like every hour or something like that, to just have
yep.
3 flights, morning and middle of the day, and a red eye is crazy. Um,
Uh,
but a lot of I mean, and people don't really think, but the mail that you get comes by airplanes. So this is why during this time, um, the airlines are still flying. It's limited capacity, but mail, they're moving a lot of mail and cargo, a lot of protective equipment, your food.
But what a lot of work it must be to load those boxes onto every seat, strap it in to make sure it doesn't move,
Yeah,
and then I believe they're using the overhead bins as well for things like gloves and whatever, masks and boxes like
yeah, so
that.
it's crazy. So it's kind of
So,
interesting, right? This is the time that I would really love to like don some protective equipment and go record that kind of stuff because this is probably not going to happen again in my lifetime. Um, but
we hope not.
we hope not. Yeah, there's been some really cool videos online. All right, so more downward spiraling news. American is retiring 5 aircraft types.
Yeah, I think the one that surprised me the most was the 333, because those are fairly new with US Airways.
Yeah.
So I'm actually quite surprised that they're getting rid of those,
So
because 767s, 757s, I can understand, because those are what, 20, 30 years old?
the 767s
Actually,
are,
more than that.
I agree. The
More than that.
767s are god awful. I flew one of them from Bologna to Philly. Horrible airplane. Because American hasn't done anything to them since they got them. Whenever they got them.
Yeah. But
So
then again, another example of what we were talking about last week, the 190.
mhm.
Again, not that old at, I think it was US and not America West, US Airways,
Yeah,
and they're already getting rid of them.
I know it's
So
crazy. So what are the 5 types they're getting rid of?
I think, well, the 333, the
Right.
757, 200, because they don't have the 300, the 767, 300, the E190, and I think the CRJ 200. But I don't
Oh,
think those are American. Those are one of the
okay.
regional affiliates.
Okay. Yeah, those needed to
So
go.
that's a lot of capacity to go. But it would really streamline their fleet then, because now it would be mainly 320 family and
Yeah,
737 family
it definitely was.
for narrow bodies.
So they're going to replace the 75s with the 321s. I guess that's the plan.
I guess so, yeah. But those don't come for several years.
Uh,
So, um, and these are being replaced in 2020, these
yeah,
5 types.
that's
But
going to be
I'm sure
interesting.
they know what they're doing. I'm
Um,
sure it'll lower their costs also.
yeah. So do you think we have enough
But
space to store all these planes that all these airlines are retiring?
we're hoping the deserts are big enough. So
Well, Mojave is actually quite big. So Mojave has like acres and acres of space out there.
yeah, and I
Um,
believe Spain has a lot of space also,
there you
which
go.
is an unusual location.
Yep, and there's
But
Victorville. And you know they used to store some in Las Vegas.
oh, did they did?
Yeah, they used to store them
Okay.
right by the airport. It's not many, because I just remember going to Las Vegas and driving, renting a car and driving around to the side just so you could see them. But it's not many, and so I
So
assume. But when you drive from like, have you ever driven from Las Vegas to Victorville?
no,
Through
I've
the oh,
wanted to go to Victorville, never made it.
it's awesome, and there's nothing out there. So there is actually a lot of room out there. I mean, it's just desert to store stuff. So
You need infrastructure, right? You need runways and
yes, you do.
all
The,
that.
the other place is out Tucson. So Tucson is
Yeah, Davis
another
Montcalm. I
storage
think that's
place.
an Air Force base, right?
Um, yes, because there's a lot of old Air Force stuff out there too,
Yeah,
and there's also the Evergreen plant or the Evergreen
yeah, you're right.
facility that's out there.
Yeah.
Which when you drive along the highway that runs through Tucson, you can see them over. If you look over the fence, you can see the airplanes out there. You can't go over there, of course, because it is private property, but you can actually see
Wonder
them.
if they still have tours though.
Um,
So
I know Mojave had stopped because when I went, I wanted to do the tour, and I went to the up to the front, and the guy's like, "No, we're not doing any tours anymore." But I know there was a guy that did it, and then so I want to go back and try to find that guy because people have done it. I've seen like Sam Chewy show
yeah,
videos, and
yeah,
he's gone up there. But
a good marketing venture, I think,
oh yeah, but Sam is in a
especially if you
different
use a bus or
category.
something.
Yes, yes. It's
Right.
it's an amazing thing. I really want to go out there and walk around, take pictures, maybe get into some of the planes if we can. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out how we can do that. Yeah.
So
Oh, speaking of planes, the other thing too is that um you know that here in Houston the big plane comes here, right? The Antanov.
about 20
Ant-
to 25.
yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while though.
yeah, it comes here. So one day I was out and about, and I knew it was on there because my flight radar 24 told me it was getting ready to take off. Well, it needs like tons of clearance, and so it waited and it waited and it waited and it waited, and then when I finally gave up on it, it came zooming over my head.
I
So,
think it used to do mainly oil field equipment.
uh-huh.
So I don't know if we'll see it anytime in the near future, given the
uh,
complete collapse of oil demand.
oh, that's true. Well,
So,
people were talking about it. They said it was in Anchorage, and
okay, okay.
people have been showing pictures of it going into Anchorage. So I don't know. I have some contacts. So I'm gonna send them a note and ask them about it.
So, but there is
Yeah,
the other one, the other Antonov. I think the 225 is called the Maria, I believe,
that's the six
which
engine
is
one, right?
the six engine. Six or
Yeah,
eight? No, six. Six.
six. Okay.
With the millions of
It's six.
wheels.
It's six on that one. Yeah, it's like wheels for days.
The four engine one still comes.
Hold on
I
one
see
sec.
it quite. In fact, there's one based here. Airbridge Cargo, I think.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hold on one sec, Krisha. Hold on. Hang on.
Do you have anything else?
Oh yes, okay. So I've just switched location. I was inside and there was noise outside. There's no noise anymore, so we've switched location back to outside. Yeah, so we have losses. British Airways first quarter loss, and
Actually,
yeah.
Boeing.
Sorry, is that Boeing?
I don't think British Airways has released their earnings,
I
have
don't
they?
think they have, and
Boeing.
they have a weird thing, right? They don't do the same quarters as everybody else, or something like that.
So,
But yeah, sorry. So Boeing first quarter loss, 2020.
yeah. So I'm surprised it was that small, actually.
Oh yeah,
So it was, I think, 650
so
million US dollars.
yeah, considering,
But
right?
and what was most interesting is that they're thinking they can start resume deliveries of the Max 737 in the third quarter, which is not that far away.
No, that's not bad at
So I
all.
guess they have
Uh-huh.
the software patch in
Yeah.
place or being installed, or
Hmm.
but I just can't see them meeting that deadline given the complete silence of, I mean, not silence, but given the complete uh, shutdown of everything.
Yeah. So you know what's
But
interesting with our world though is that we do things interestingly, right? Um, um, we have our world is interesting. So the 737 Max was a big thing, and then all of a sudden, no, it you don't ever hear about it anymore, right? And
now it's almost a blessing in disguise for airlines, but they're not
yeah,
getting them.
yeah, exactly. So and I guess that's how our industry works, right? Things come and things go. People get interested in different things, and things that we thought was a big deal are like all of a sudden not a big deal. That's
No, but even the
aviation for you.
787 is not sacred anymore because they're cutting that uh, production of that also
Oh, that's right.
substantially.
Yeah, and that was kind of
So,
that was kind of the cash cow, isn't it?
yep, it is, I think. It's the only cash cow currently because the 777W is winding down
Yeah,
and the 77X is still not in service. I think it's supposed to start next year, early next year with Emirates. So I
this.
hope they take delivery because I think, again, that's an amazing, amazing aircraft.
Yeah, it really is.
So,
Um, wow.
but yeah, we will see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Um, I think that was the last thing on our list. We were talking about the 777 and the 787 production cutbacks. I think that was the last thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, all
So,
right, cool. Well, this is our third episode. We made it this far. We definitely need your guys' feedback, and don't forget to subscribe and share, and let us know what you'd like us to talk about. This is Kerwin, and
this is Cushrow.
there we go for another episode of Travel This Week. All right, talk to you guys soon. And again, thank you.